Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video off of the second weekend of these Ultimate Battle tournaments. I've been playing in a bunch of them. We've gotten close, but no cigar. But over this past weekend, finally got to win the green Broly 8 drop. We got two of them. I won with two different decks. Gonna go over the first deck with you guys here. As you can see, it is the Yellow Vegeta. I've played most of these events with these decks. And I've either gone like X1 or 2-2, depending on the number team. Like we've had like multiple 2-1 records, multiple 3-1 records. And then obviously making the top 8 to get the booze. I've topped 6 of them, so 3 are here, and if you're wondering where the other 3 are, well, they're in the deck. And then a lot of stores are very generous giving out the entry promo. So want to give a small shout out to those locals that were very generous with, pushing the community. Shout outs to Silk Road in Chinatown. Shout outs to Truly Urban in the Bronx. Shout outs to the Waypoint Cafe. I got a shout out my own local. And Toy Wiz as well. It didn't really fire, but they were very generous with their entry. And shout outs to ZC Games for holding it, even though we didn't have that many people. But yeah, let's get into the deck profile. Obviously, Yellow Vegeta, one of my favorite leaders, one of my favorite decks. On the Unawakened side, he attacks, draws a card, and then when you're at 4 or less, you flip him over. We already know he does. I've done multiple profiles on this leader, but just in case you're new to the channel and just checking out this one before the other deck list, here's what we have. So, you attacks, draw a card, and then at the end of the turn, you untap 2 energy. And that's really strong because it lets you play a very defensive game, which is what this deck does, plays super defensively. So, right off rip, I think the only change from the last profile is that I have increased the number of Bomas. So we have 4 of the Boma 1-drop, where she has the activate battle. You put her to rest mode, and she can either draw you a card or she rests a battle card 4 or less. So that comes in very handy against a lot of the current meta. Very handy against droids because you can stop the 4-drops from swinging. Very handy against black. Very handy against yellow. Just an all-around strong deck. Then we have 3 copies of the other 1-drop Boma from set 3. This one is where you can rest a card and get back an extra card with a cost of 2 or less. That's what she does. The bread and butter 1-drop Yamu, on play, draw a card. The main reason we play this one, as I stated before, is because it's a Wicked Soul. And the reason why Wicked Soul is important is because we do play 4 copies of the 2-drop Bobbity. And the Bobbity on play searches the top 5 for a Modern Boo or a card with Wicked Soul in its trait. And of course, the Modern Boo that we search for is the 3-drop. So we have the nice fancy ones from the Ultimate Battle in the deck. Majin Buu, 3-drop, 25k attacker, barrier. When he's KO'd, you can discard a card from your hand and play him back in rest mode. That's pretty good. As far as the other Wicked Soul targets are concerned, you have the 4-cost Vegeta, who is a 4-cost 25k. He is also a Wicked Soul target. And then we have some extra cards that you could search for. 2 copies of Energy Absorption that let you rest a battle card. And then if it's a cost of 4 or more, you get to draw a card, and the card can't untap during your opponent's next turn. And then, of course, 4 copies of the Final Explosion. Final Explosion does have Wicked Soul in its traits, so it is searchable by the 2-drop Bobbity. So that's kind of like the Wicked Soul package there. And one of the other reasons why this deck is just so good. Yeah, like, you can watch the other profile and then you watch this one. I've made like small changes. I think one of the changes was I increased this by 1. I used to play 4 of these, we're down to 3. We got 3 copies of the Vegeta. Finally got the 3rd one so that I can play 3. Shout outs to the Hill Twins for letting me get this card. So thank you guys. for letting me get access to this, because I've been wanting to have. I've only had two. I did have three from other events, but I sold one. So, it's nice to have three that I can actually play. 4 copies of the Son Goku, where on play or when he attacks, you can rest a card. And then we do play one of the 5-drop Vegetas. He's basically like a bigger version of this Goku, but he locks down 2 cards when you pay 1 at the end of turn, which is nice because with this leader, at the end of turn, you can sequence it however you want. So you could untap your 2 energy first, and then pay the 1 to rest and lock down 2 cards, not rest. The big boss monster, of course, is still Golden Frieza. This guy is just really strong. And then the super combo of choice is the Chilai. And then we round it out with 4 copies of Death Ball and 4 copies of Time Reround. So not much has changed, but I just wanted to get the profile out there, show some of the upgrades, because we finally got the high rarity. So like, with the exception of maybe this being stamped and Yellow being stamped, this deck is almost max rarity. I'm really happy to have this deck. It's one of my favorite characters. It's been one of my favorite decks since it came out in set 2, and it's been doing very well for me. It got me a win at one of the ultimate battles, and maybe if you try it out, it could work for you. I know a lot of people are always asking, oh, how do you beat Jiren? Honestly, you have to hold 2 of the final explosions, and then you just got to play around them having the 4-cost Jiren. And sometimes if they have multiples, nothing you can really do about that. But there's ways to kind of like dance around it and get the win if you sequence your plays correctly. So anyway, that's the deck profile. Comment below if you have any questions about it, or just any comments or whatever. I like reading comments. I like responding to them, and I'll showcase the other deck, which should be uploaded probably sometime after this one is. Take care.